Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. Every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem.
Hey, yo, Mom. You mad beautiful. You gorgeous.
Wow, Twinsie, just wow. You have a way with words. Thank you.
So, I've always been a fan of hidden pride flags. And I finally made my own out of monster cans. Look at that. So now, I have my own pride flag in my room that's kind of hidden unless people really know what it means.
There's not enough trans and non-binary people on the For You page. If you're gender non-conforming, use this sound to show that trans is beautiful and that we have diverse, amazing lives to share with this world. We deserve to be seen and heard.
Stitch this and tell me the reason why you transitioned. Wrong answers only. I'll go first. My parents had 10 kids, and when I was younger they would always say that it was 6 boys and 4 girls, and honestly, that imbalance was starting to bother me a little bit, so I figured I would transition to make it even.
So everybody knows that there's a lot of new stuff you need to get when you're transitioning. Clothes, body parts. But what people don't realize is you need to buy a new everything. I remember when I started transitioning, just looking around at stuff in my apartment going, I don't want this boy-looking bedspread. I don't want this boy-looking suitcase. And forget about my kitchen, it's all full of disgusting man appliances. Look at this. This isn't cute, so you're gonna need a lot of money. So it's a good thing we don't have disproportionately high rates of unemployment or anything. Oh, wait.
I was in the doctor's office last week to get some blood drawn because in 3 weeks I have my bottom surgery coming up. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to say. And while passing some time, filling out some paperwork, getting ready for stuff, my doctor asked me a question. And before I tell you this question, I'd like to ask you what you think the appropriate response is to this question. Because my doctor asked me, so Remy, are you excited for your new vajayjay? I said, hell yeah, which I think is an appropriate response. But tell me, what are you supposed to say in that situation? Yeah, Matt, yeah, I am excited for my vajayjay. Thanks for asking. What the fuck?
So today is Trans Day of Visibility. It's a day to remind the trans people in your life that they are seen, valid, and loved. I got the trans flag right here. Today shines light on a minority that is still abused, attacked, and killed to this day. And to all the people that ask whether being trans is my only personality trait, you better believe it is. I'm doing this to be visible because I thought that being trans was something scary, gross, just something you shouldn't want to be. So we gotta change that. We have to change how the media portrays and views trans people. Because we deserve rights and we deserve to piss in peace without debate over which toilet we're allowed to use. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Happy Trans Day of Visibility.
Let's do a crash course in voice feminization. So sound and voice is just vibration in the air. When you have a testosterone-based puberty and your voice drops, your vibration goes from your throat and your sinuses to your chest. So voice feminization is about learning how to take the vibration of your voice from your chest back into your sinuses. But Chloe, how do you change your resonance back up here? Here's a technique. Put one hand on your chest, put one hand on the side of your nose, or one finger on the side of your nose and on your mouth. Now I want you to hum. This should be the only part where you feel vibration. You shouldn't really be feeling vibration in your chest. Maybe a little teeny tiny bit, but 90% of it should be up here. You're gonna need to manipulate your throat and your voice. Make sure not to tense up your neck as you're doing this. If you can get it up here, that is the most important step.
Commonly asked trans questions, part 8. Hey baby, are you gay?
No.
Are you sure?
Definitely sure.
Have you ever dated a guy before?
Nope.
Okay. If we broke up, would you ever date a guy?
Not at all.
So explain why you're not gay.
I'm not attracted to guys.
And I'm not a guy. I'm a girl.
Clearly.
So, no. My boyfriend is not gay. My boyfriend identifies as a straight male.
Who is dating a trans woman.
Story time while I do my makeup. So when I was like 13 or 14, I came out as transgender, which is year 9 in the UK. And as you can probably imagine, this didn't go down well with the other students. There were a lot of rumours spread about me. This one's a personal favourite. So I was in class one day and someone came up to me and asked me if it was true. And obviously I was like, is what true? They turned around to me and said that you put tampons up your bum. I was like, sorry? Somebody had spread a rumour to my entire year and the year below that to feel more like a biological woman, I put tampons up my bum once a month. I also had a brand new friendship group at the time, so when people asked, they said they didn't know because they didn't. So then for the rest of my time at that school, everyone thought I put tampons up my bum. Ridiculous.
Information out there about what it means to be transgender, but recently scientists have begun to look more closely into the neurology, physiology, and psychology behind it.
So today we're going to break down what science does know in a respectful and educational way. Hey guys, I'm Gigi Gorgeous, and today I'm here with ASAP Science to break down the science of being transgender. Before we get too deep into it, we have to look at your genetic sex, or the chromosomes you have. These were determined right at fertilization, when the sperm cell from your father, which carries an X or a Y chromosome, fused with the egg from your mother, which carries an X chromosome.
But until 6 or 7 weeks after fertilization, both XY and XX embryos have identical gonads. Around 7 weeks, the male sex organs start to develop because of a gene on the Y chromosome called SRY. It causes cells to become more specialized, and these cells create testosterone, which in turn triggers the development of structures like the penis and scrotum, while other cells block female development by degenerating the female ducts. However, in female development, because there is no Y chromosome with the SRY gene, these ducts stay intact and become the uterus, cervix, upper vagina, and the oviduct with the help of estrogen and chemicals secreted by the early kidney. But it's not always that simple. There are sometimes even rare combinations like XXY, XXX, XXYY, etc., and even people with XX chromosomes that develop male genitals and characteristics due to a piece of the Y chromosome breaking off and switching places to an X chromosome.
But sexual differentiation in the brain actually happens much later than gonadal differentiation. And yes, although controversial, male and female brains have structural and functional differences between each other. Studies have found that males generally have a larger cerebrum, cerebellum, and hippocampus, while females have higher density left frontal lobes and larger volumes in the right frontal lobes. So what exactly do we see when we look at the brain of a transgender person? Several studies have shown that transgender brains are both structurally and functionally more similar to their experienced gender identity than their biological sex.
One study found that trans women who, despite being assigned male at birth, had a smaller female-sized structure in the hypothalamus. MRI scans also show the brain structures of trans people to be more similar in thickness to their experienced gender and not their sex. Finally, the pheromone androstenedione causes different hypothalamic responses in male and female brains. And when individuals with gender dysphoria were exposed to it, the hypothalamic response matched their perceived gender rather than their sex. These studies help to highlight how masculinization or feminization of the gonads is not always the same as the brain, and that there's a difference between your sex or your anatomy and your gender or how we perceive our own bodies. There also seems to be a genetic component to trans.
Merch available at tiktokbunny.live/merch. Shop now.